I'm doing good.
Good to
How's
see you.
you?
Doing good.
Ain't having no trouble.
Right?
Yes, sir. I'm doing really good.
Good.
Back up and running.
I said it.
Wide open.
Wide open as I can get. If I, you know, I don't ever, I know that. Listen to everybody.
Yeah.
Good guys. I didn't like to be good. I hate it.
Yeah, I know that.
I've been there for 40 years,
Yeah.
and I've seen it when it was like, I've seen it when it was
She said I heard it.
I've seen it when it was
Everything was good.
Every time Daddy done that, we had to redo it again.
Yeah.
Seemed like, you know.
very
Yeah.
I had the phone hooked up.
I mean,
About 4 days.
I have to listen to everybody. If you
So what?
see what's being said.
But you feel
Yeah.
good enough to do it. Ain't you?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Good evening.
Good evening, good
I'd
evening.
like to welcome everyone to the June 6th meeting of the Walton County Planning Commission. Certainly appreciate everyone being here tonight. Michelle is new with us tonight, so we want to recognize her and thank her for being willing to commit time and meet with us monthly as we make decisions that involve our counties and our community, so we certainly appreciate that.
Should we tell her now?
No, let's let her learn. You trial by fire. Yeah.
All in here.
Yeah. So anyway, but we certainly do appreciate everyone that puts forth the effort and the time to allow us to be able to have these meetings. And you know, it is sometimes tough decisions that we make, but we're glad that we have the opportunity to be able to do so. But I'd like to thank everyone again for being present tonight. For those who care to later are not attending this meeting, just to let you know, you can join our meetings on the Walton County Facebook Live page. View all our meetings there. Any of the cases that we hear tonight will be moving on to the Board of Commissioners on July the 9th. And then our next meeting will be July the 11th. And with that, I would like to start our meeting by first asking if you would please, we're going to allow Tim Kemp to open us up in prayer. As soon as he's finished, if you guys would participate with us in the pledge, please.
Let us bow. Heavenly Father, we come to you in thanksgiving and praise, thanking you for giving us an opportunity to be here one more time. Heavenly Father, as we make decisions in regards to this county and this state in which we live, Lord, lead us in directing or making the decision that's best for all. This is what we ask in your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please stand.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I think all of our members are present with the exception of Wesley Sisk. At this time, board members, hopefully you've had an opportunity to look over the minutes of our last meeting, and if there's no errors or omissions and those minutes all look correct, I'll ask for a motion and a second, please.
Make a motion that we...
Motion to approve the minutes as published.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand and say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We do not have any old business on the agenda for this evening, so we will move right on to new business. The first case that we have, and the only case that we have tonight, Z2405002, This is to rezone 1.25 acres from A2 to B1 for an indoor sports training facility. The applicant is Justin Pinnell. The owner is Ronald G. Laster, the estate of, and this property is located on Gratis Road. Is the applicant here? Okay, sir, if you would please step up to the podium, state your name and your address, and tell us what your plans are for the property.
Thank you. My name is Justin Pinnell. My address is 310 Hopping Road, Bishop, Georgia. And the plan is to, I have an existing business. I've been in business and owned a facility since September of 2013. And the current space that that I have for training is approximately 4,200 square feet, and the existing building footprint is pretty close to that. And so I would like to buy this property and renovate it and get it to where it's functional. But my business is just basically open space with hanging batting cages, and so. And all our training is indoors, and it's one-on-one training primarily that we do.
Okay. Any questions from the board?
Yes, what all are you planning on doing with this property as far as transitioning everything?
Yeah, just all I really want to do is put as much parking as they tell me I have to have, but realistically, we'll have I have myself and 2 other coaches who train at my facility now, and we work with it's one-on-one, so we're working with a family at a time. So we're talking about 6 cars usually most of the time at any given time in the parking lot.
So how many people total at any given time?
So just depends on how big the family is. Sometimes a mom might bring in her and all the kids for training, but it's just one kid training at a time.
What are the hours of operation?
It's by appointment, but usually you're talking after school hours, so after 3.
What's the closing time?
Just until the latest people want to go, but it's usually 8, maybe earlier, depending on the day.
Go ahead.
How many days a week do you operate your business?
5, Monday through Friday, and then the occasional Saturday morning.
Nothing on Sunday?
No.
Okay. Any other questions? Thank you, sir.
Hold on.
Is anyone here in opposition to this request? Yes, ma'am. If you would, please step up to the podium, state your name and your address, and tell us what your concerns are.
My name is Laverne Bloodsaw. Yo, yeah. Sorry about that. That wasn't me. Old classmate.
Y'all classmates?
That's good.
I'll reserve my comment on that.
Yeah, as I was saying, my name is Laverne Bloodsaw Simmons, and I live at 1180 Gratis Road. I'm right adjacent to where the building and everything, where they want to do this training. And I'm opposing it because of, I know he said that the clientele, parking, noise, and potential danger to my property and everything, and as well as potential danger to my property and everything, potential danger of possibly could be lawsuits for me and my family, because right there at the building is a lake right behind it. And no one can promise me that the kids that go, or even the family that go, will not go out there and try to look at the lake or be around the lake or something like that, because I had people to stop who think it's a fishing place and they want to fish, and then I come home and I'm having to tell them to get out of my yard. So that is a potential danger because of the lake that's there, and curiosity for kids and even adults. So that's one of my objections. And the clientele there, the neighborhood that I live in, it's like a private neighborhood, not private, but it's the elderly people who sick and have disability, as well as myself. I'm a disabled veteran, and I have disabilities and things. And so this is what this neighborhood is made up of. And there's really no young kids or young adult kids in this neighborhood. It's basically elderly people with disabilities. So that's one of the things that I'm very highly concerned about. And then, like you said, with the parking, I'm concerned right the parking, even though if you have the parking on that thing, it's gonna be one way in and only one way out. And then if you go, you're gonna come on my property. And I do know that I have problems now with people turning into my property to even turn around and go back out into the road. So that's a major concern for me. People coming to my property, turning and stuff like that, and thinking it's okay. The other concern with that, even with the families and friends stuff, bringing other friends to the place and thing, and thinking launching outside on the property and stuff, noise and stuff. We know how young kids can be, and there's that potential for that as well. So that's another objection I have to it. The hours of operation, you said after 3 to 8 o'clock or so. So that's, you see it's gonna be inside, so it's still with me, because you're inside and training. What are the other kids, other people gonna be doing that's not training? That you say the family come and bring, so that's a major concern for me. The lighting, the traffic, and I said property damage. And then to me, it's like you come into our neighborhood, and that's, to me, causing potential for crime, because now our neighborhood is like highlighted because of what you're trying to do with this sports thing. And people will be coming, hearing about it, trying to stop and stuff. And we do know the crime rates are going up, and that's a great potential for us. And like I said, the majority of the people in this community are elder people and people with disabilities. And one of the other things that I'm concerned with is, like I say, the danger, the high rate of the danger, the ability, traffic, and then another one of my concern is wrecks. This is a great potential for wrecks, because when cars coming down that hill, they're flying down that hill, and if you're trying to come out and you're not careful, you can get hit, and hit quickly. So that's another concern of mine, is the traffic and the potential that being increased because of people going in and out, especially in the evening time, because most time the traffic, they're not paying attention to what they're doing and stuff like that. So that's another one of my, the thing. And then, like I say, just coming to my property and using my property, thinking it's okay to use my property for park, for whatever the case we do, because I know even at my church, people come after hours and play on our basketball courts. And that's dangerous too. So you can't tell me people won't do, because kids are kids, people are people, and curiosities take the best of a lot of people these days. So those are my major concerns and why I'm opposing it. Because like I say, to me, this is not conducive to the neighborhood that they're trying to put it in, especially because we're elderly people with disability and stuff, and there's no really young people into our thing. So now you're bringing young people into our community, and you can't guarantee me what they will or will not do. And so my thing is to increase for danger, increase for damage, and increase for crime, and increase for danger for the families and everything that's concerned with the Gratis community. Thank you.
Before you step away, Sharna, can you take where that's at showing on the upper part of the map? Can you bring that to the center of the screen and zoom in on it, please?
Oh, where it is up there.
Ma'am, is your house to the right or the left of
Yeah.
Right behind it.
Yeah, right there.
Wait just a minute.
All right, so here's where the, that what you wanted, bigger?
Yes. So the property in question is the one you've got outlined?
This is the property.
Okay, and your property, ma'am, is to the right of that?
Yep.
Okay.
Right of that and right behind it.
I got you. Okay,
So
okay,
you own the pond too?
I do. on the
Okay.
pond, yes.
yeah. And
Is this your house? Do you live in
This
this?
is my house.
Okay.
And that's where I live.
Yeah.
That's correct.
what would you like to see happen to that property? What would you like to see there?
I would like to buy it back so I won't have to go through this again with any people trying to get it. That's what I would like.
Okay,
Because at the time when it was sold, I was in the service and I did not know. Had I known, I would have bought it back myself before it got to where it's at now. Because not just with them, this other company, guy came and said he got permission from the owner to do it. He's parking his cars and truck out there that's right there in my front yard. And people coming into the yard looking at the vehicles that's parked there. And that, another concern, because more people was coming just because he was parking his car there and he was doing it illegal, but he got permission to do it. But legally, we got him to stop. And then the trash people, they got permission to use some dumpsters right there, and then everybody else was coming to use some dumpsters because it's started free. So it's like every time somebody want to do something, you're not there, but.
so what I'm hearing you say is that the property itself has been a bit of a nuisance to you in the past,
Correct.
but you feel like that the use for a sports facility would make it worse?
I do.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak in opposition? Yes, ma'am, please come up, state your name. Just give us your name and address when you get to the podium, please, ma'am.
Yes, my name is Linda Bailey, and I live in the Gratis community as well. My mom, she's deceased now, but like I said, we all in the community 60 and over. I'd like to know how many people, the building he's trying to build, how many people does it can occupy the building? How many square feet?
Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll take your questions, and the applicant, he can hear those, and we're going to allow him to come back up for some time for rebuttal, and he'll answer your questions.
Okay.
I haven't understood tonight in the request that they're going to build a new building, but they're going to use the building that's there. So we'll get clarification on that, and I think also the numbers were stated, I've got them written down here. You know, there's 3 coaches. They coach 1 kid at a time.
Okay.
So it would appear depending on family members that show up, looks like to me the most that could be in there at one time with 3 coaches and 3 kids would be 6 people.
Does the buildings only accommodate 6 people? I mean, square feet is on for the.
Well, I'm not saying, I'm saying 6 people would be occupied, a coach and a kid that's training.
Yeah.
Their mom or their dad may be sitting watching because somebody's got to drive them there. I remember when I have to drive my kids places for
Right.
various activities. I'm sure you do as well.
Right.
So, you know, they're going to stay there, I'm sure, rather than drop them off and come back. So, yeah, I mean, again, not knowing the size of the families that's going to be involved, I'd say 20, maybe 20 people at any given time, maybe.
Okay. Thank you for the information.
Any more questions?
Basically, that was all I wanted to know, because if it accommodates 25 to 50 people at some given time, it might be that many people there.
Yes, ma'am.
We can't say that only 6 people are going to be there,
Right,
okay?
right. Thank you so very much. Anyone else wish to speak in opposition? Yes, ma'am. Please come up, state your name and your address for us.
Another classmate. My name is Valerie Ramey, and I live in the Gratis community too. And I was listening to the proposal and everything. And my question is, that's a beginning goal, but what about if that expands? How big could it possibly become in the future? Because we need to look at that too.
Yes, ma'am.
Because right now, like Ms. Simmons had previously stated, there are older people in the community, and as far as children, there are not a lot of young kids in our community. So it seems like with bringing a facility in where, you're training young kids, but none of the people that live in the community will have kids that are even participating,
Yep.
So that's kind of concerning that space in the community is being taken up, but none of the residents that live there have kids out there that will be participating.
Yes, ma'am. I'll ask you the same question I asked the lady earlier. What would you like to see at this location?
Well, I mean, I'm not sure what I would like to see. I like just having room and space out there, so
Yes, ma'am.
I would desire that it could really just stay the way it is.
Yes, ma'am.
As long as it's neat and clean, it's no problem.
Thank you.
Shauna, can you pull up the picture of how it looks inside?
No, sir.
You can't?
I
Okay.
can get you a street view.
No, that's okay.
Okay.
I'm talking about the proposal that's in the packet right here.
Oh,
This, yes.
no, sir. I can't
Okay.
pull that up.
Because, and I know where the concerns are, because the facility, you can only work with probably 2, 3 maximum, if I'm not mistaken. I'll let him answer that when he comes back up.
Yep. Is there any other opposition? Ma'am, one of you two, and then I'll get the second one. She just told you to sit down. I hope y'all are good friends. I'm gonna have to get the deputy to come over and sit in between y'all.
Let it be said, she's hit me with that cane before.
I am. Hi.
All right, state your name and address for us, please,
My name
ma'am.
is Mary Z. Bledsoe Baker, and I also live at 1180 Gladys Road. And I understand what he's saying he's wanting to do, but my concern as well as men is that, people build these things and bring things out there. And like I said, he doesn't even live in the neighborhood or whatsoever. Vandalism, it's like people come out, from the times that it's been there, nobody could do upkeep on it. Would there be somebody coming out to do upkeep? Like snakes are real bad, like grass wouldn't be cut, the trees, bushes just growing up. So if you take it on this place, who's gonna be doing the upkeep? If you're not living nearby, who's gonna be watching the place? Like I say, for vandalism, I see so many different people now in the neighborhood that I have never seen before. So if the building is sitting there and nobody there watching it, who knows who can come in? Spotters, sitting there. So I have real big concerns. Like I say, my elderly mom and I'm there. I have big concerns about something new coming out there as well. And if you ask me what I want there, as my sister stated, I wish my dad never sold it and we would still have ownership of it, and then we could do as we please with it, as cleaning it up and just let it sit there and keep the peace, keep the quietness out there. I love quietness.
Right, so I got to, so the property right now is not occupied by anyone? No. So if it were occupied by a business that would want things to look proper and they would have upkeep there, would that not be a benefit rather than a deterrent?
Not to me, I really don't feel like
So you'd rather it stay in the current condition, growing up and the snakes and this and that and another?
Well, I mean, no, I wouldn't, but my opinion, to me, that's not an area where a business need to be.
Okay.
My opinion.
Okay.
My opinion, we all have the right opinion.
Yeah,
I just don't feel like any kind of business
Right.
should be right there.
Right. And I appreciate you stating that last part, but with your first comments, to me, it would be better to have something where people were keeping it up rather than something that's sitting idle with no upkeep.
Well, a lot of people come out there and say they're going to keep things up, but then other things are done differently.
Right.
A lot of people say a lot of things with their mouth, but are they honestly keeping up with what
Yes,
they're
ma'am.
do?
Understood. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
Ma'am, do you wish to come up now?
Swole.
Please state your name and your address for us.
My name is Tanisha Bledsoe Allgood. I'm currently a resident of Loganville, Georgia. The house that we're speaking on in the Gratis community is my grandparents' house, which my mom stays there as well as the current resident. I'm just particularly because I'm country girl, so I just believe in a separation of business and residential area. So when you bring in a business to this area, again, that disturbs your peace and quiet. So my answer is just very simple to what it is. If it's a residential area, people want peace and quiet. You don't want to be in like Atlanta area. Now Gwinnett is mini Atlanta, things of that nature. We live in the country for a reason, and that's what we would like. So that's my objection to it.
Thank you, ma'am. Sharna, do we have a zoning overlay we can put on? So I'm assuming the B1 that I'm starting to see just the top, that's the funeral home over there?
It's over here.
Be on the opposite side? Okay.
Yeah.
There are basically about 3 businesses out in that area.
That's right.
All agriculture.
Okay.
But this way, there's a few commercial.
Right. Anyone else to speak in opposition? Come on up, sir. Did all them women put you in the back? I've been treated like that before.
My name is Eric Floyd. I live at 1240 Gratis Road. That's the property beside the Bloodsaw's property. And I didn't hear about what type of training that will be going on at the location. And just want to know what brought you to that certain spot in the community versus anywhere else in Walton County.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to give him rebuttal right after you, and he can answer that question for you, okay?
That's all I had, yeah.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else in opposition? Y'all keep growing back there.
My name is Michael Franklin. I currently live at 1100 Gratis Road. My concerns are the position of the county more so than the business. I wanted to know, currently the speed limit in that area is 55. And people have a tendency to go a little bit faster than that, especially there, because the speed limit is 55. And they take advantage of, one, the county not being in, the officials not being in the area. They take advantage of it. And it concerns me because the place in question, before my father was killed by a car accident, that was the last place he was at. My mother dying there the day he got killed in that place. So I'm concerned about the position of the county as far as the safeguards that with the business. I'm all for the growth. I'm all for business. I know business. I've been in business for 40 years. So I know that you're in business to grow. And as it was stated prior to this, as your business grow, your business plan for the future. What is your business plan for the future? Because you said that you're in the sports training, then you mentioned children. I don't know too many employed children. So you got to have in place for people growing, for adults, because I'm pretty sure you're going to be training adults. You mentioned mothers, older brothers. So you have to keep in mind that it's a growth area. But my concern is the speed limit there. Is the position of the county to adjust accordingly, because the traffic sign that was there at an intersection near my house, I've seen cars come there excessively. I've seen them lose control there. And as it was stated, the property is right over a hill. And as soon as you go over the hill, when you come from the intersection going over the hill, you're already at their property. And if you go there at 55 miles an hour, anybody coming or going is in danger. My concern is the children in my part of it, they are not even school age, but they're playing in the yards and they're riding their different toys in the yard. And I've seen it 3 times where cars lose control. They go over in my neighbor's yard. They didn't even stay in the travel lane. They went in my neighbor's yard. And I can imagine, Because see, to me, that's a side effect of the decision today. We look at the medication, but then you always have that side effect. And some of that side effect mean, you know, if you look at some of the commercials and they talk about medication, they say, and the side effect is this, the side effect is that. So we're looking, or what my concern is the side effect of it. The concern is not only the property being renovated and upgraded and all like that, you add a track field to it, I'm all for it. I'm signing up myself. But I'm simply saying that 3 years, 5 years, you know, the 3-year-old or the 5-year-old that you have now they're teenagers. Now they're ready to go into the University of Georgia. Now they're ready to go to pro football. And you know, you're not going to limit to just the children. So my concern, as I said, my opposition of it is just, as the young lady said earlier, you're outside the community, but do a little bit more research and see the cause and effect of that decision. There is an effect to it. And I tell my grandchildren all the time, all your actions have consequences. Thank you very much.
Mr. Franklin, where do you live in that area?
About 3 houses north of it. I live 3 houses north of it, right as James Huff Pipeline Road intersects with grass. I live right there.
Okay.
Yeah, right there.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else in opposition? Thank you. At this time, I'll ask the applicant to come back up for rebuttal. Are you in opposition, sir? Okay. Oh, you're for it? Well, then you have the floor. Yeah, I'll let you come back up in just a second.
I'm John Shea. I reside here in Monroe. I was born and raised all my life out in Grattis, Georgia. So I'm as familiar with Grattis, Georgia as anybody sitting in this room right here, okay? I'm the one kind of representing the sellers and the purchaser. So I'm going to answer a couple of questions that kind of got brought up. Now, I'm a real estate broker. And one of the questions was, why would they bring this building out here to this particular location? I don't know how many people in here are familiar with commercial spaces being available, okay? We have a lot. I have plenty of clients. I could sell all that I could find. There are none available for sale. You can't even hardly find any for rent. So you can go back through and look through all that. Number two, I feel like this is a great location for this particular venue. Now, what this guy is doing here is baseball training, all right? Everything's by appointment. Now, he has people anywhere from Prince Avenue Academy to Loganville to Monroe High School to Youth High School. So as far as easeability to get to and from, you not only have the Grattis Road, you have Highway 78 coming from Athens and from Loganville, you have James Huff Road, you have Dry Pond Road, and for no more people than here, you are not impacting that area with the traffic over there. You're not impacting it is on water and septic tank. You're not impacting any of the utilities out there. I would kind of be in a difference of opinion with children and young middle-aged kids in the Grattis area. The Grattis area don't pertain to this one small area. If you'll go just right down the road there to Mountain Creek Church Road, Ike Stone Road, there are new homes all right there, all with new families. Basically, what this business does is it's giving these youth an opportunity to have somewhere to go and actually train and actually be in a safe environment. You know, they want to talk about, and I understand they'd rather not have anything there, but, you know, somebody else owns this property. Yes, they're correct. With the property in the state it's in, you have people coming in there trespassing, entering that building, doing God knows what, because there's no accountability there, okay? I know they don't want anything there, but I was raised out in Gratis. And when they owned the property, they used it for a totally different purpose. Okay, it was a nightclub, it was a private club. There were so many nights I'd come down through the road and there'd be traffic parked up and down the road and all in there, and then had to go through the doggone license checks every other week going back and forth to my house. This right here is nothing but a benefit to the community, for the youth in the community, for the parents, for somewhere safe to go to, somewhere that instead of having this guy is willing to take a building that is dilapidated. Now, you asked about the interior of the building. It is a nice open interior. A church had come in there and was going to fix it up. There's no copper. There's no plumbing or wiring. All that has to be done, but it does have a nice roof on it with trusses, so that won't be much there other than putting a roof on and such as that. And it is open. That gives him the ability and the space to put his batting cages. Okay, so the building's perfect. We looked at several others. Unfortunately, we couldn't find any, none that would be suitable or such as that. This young man here has a clientele. He don't have to advertise. He said he's been in business since 2013. They've got 3 coaches. Everything here is done by appointment. As y'all know, as far as the families go, when you're sitting there and you got one spouse at work, you got one that needs to go to batting practice or pitching practice or any other thing that they teach on the inside of the building, you can't leave your other 2 kids at home. I mean, but listen, there's nothing any different than, like they said, going to the church and they're out there playing basketball. There's none of that going on here. This is a strictly appointment business, okay? I just think that with what can be done out there, if you have been down that road every day all your life, especially in the last 15 years since it's just been sitting there, you would have to agree with me that we are very fortunate, number one, to even have somebody willing to come out there and spend their money to rehabilitate that property. That will stop the vandalism. It will stop the trespassing. It will stop a lot of the riffraff that's going on out there now, because they have the freedom to roam at any hour of the night that they like. Now, and then we want to get into the B1, okay? B1 is the lightest commercial zoning that you can get. Listen, I feel like it should have been in agriculture, but if B1 has his way, it is. But if you'll look up on here where you see this B1, this B2, this B2, matter of fact, I went from the funeral home, which is zone B2 now, from the nearest point down here, that's 1,300 feet that we're from other businesses that are in a whole lot higher zoning. See, we're not asking for a B2, we're just something there. Not only that, but you have the energy department right there beside that B2 where the funeral home is. All the way up to the corner of Mountain Creek Church Road up there, there's a solar farm, okay? You come back to this property and go right across the street, you have Williams Pipeline over there. So, you know, this really isn't any kind of out of the ordinary for this area. I think it'd be a great thing for the community. I think it'd be a great thing for the youth that have the ability to take advantage of this without having to ride to Loganville or downtown Monroe, because a lot of his clients are from that area, okay? So I feel like this is a great area. I think it's a great opportunity for the Gratis community itself to improve itself with what we've been dealing with out there thus far. And If y'all have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. If I miss something, I apologize.
Thank you, sir. Any questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else want to speak on behalf of the applicant? Ma'am, sir, I'm going to ask you to come back up for rebuttal. Well, yeah, I mean, you've heard some of the questions that were posed by the opposition, so, you know, any replies you have to those, I know some of them you answered in your presentation, but any additional replies, we will certainly like to hear those.
Sure. Many of the issues that we went, kind of went point by point on the opposition, but appreciate every one of those, I do. But many of them, it sounded like they're a problem now with no accountability for those problems. So the pond being an issue, there's no solution for it at this moment. But if there's a business there, we put up a fence, you can create a solution, you can create some accountability. The noise is all inside the building. I don't know that we've ever had anybody have any, no, we haven't had any complaints in any of the places we've been in 12 years of noise complaints outside the building. I'm not even sure you can really hear it from outside the building. Lighting, yes, we would want to have lighting, but that would be to help keep crime out of the area. And because now it is a building that it's abandoned, and who knows, can be squatting there or other things going on. Yes, the building size is big, but but once you put in batting cages, the amount of seating area is actually just enough for a few families to sit. So it's not like it can hold a lot of people. In terms of expansion, we're just, all we do is private training. So it's, we're doing good to just keep our, our business going, keeping our books full, I guess you'd say. But outside of that, there's not a whole lot extra that we are looking to do. We train kids from Gratis, if that's a question. Going back to upkeep, yeah, we're looking at putting in, obviously putting in a lot of money into making it nice, and then being there pretty much every day except Sundays. So as far as keeping it up, we're there on a daily basis. I went to school here in Monroe. Went to school with Coach Kemp's daughter. So I am from the area, but we grew up in Good Hope. And a Good Hope address, and now we just live across the river in Bishop. It's technically a Bishop address, but it's out in High Shoals, if y'all know where that is.
Do you have any plans to increase the size of the building?
I'd love to, but there won't be any money to do that.
Okay. I mean, I'm just saying right now, you have no plans to do anything except use the building as it is?
Yes.
Okay.
I do have a question on that. The site plan shows a 1,404 square foot addition.
I don't know where.
And the aerial photo shows that there's not a portion of the building in that area.
Yeah, that was our mistake as staff. It was on a site plan, but the site plan was old, so there is no proposed addition.
Okay.
Yeah, we're only going to use the
Existing building.
existing square footage.
Okay. Any other questions for the applicant? Thank you, sir.
Hold on, your
just a minute.
application, you mentioned about employable opportunities for the community. Who's going to be, are you looking to hire more employees, or how does that work?
Well, depending on how you use the space, you're really looking at three. Like our cages now are 70 feet by 10, 11, 12 feet, and the way it fits, you can really fit like 3 of those in there. So it's if I were to lose a coach, I would replace them with another coach, but I don't know that there'll be opportunity to have 4, 5, 6 coaches. I don't foresee that.
Okay. How would you engage the community? Because you said that also about engaging the community.
Well, it actually, if you kind of zoom out, and I've had kids come from, and I don't know if it's a good thing, a bad thing, whatever, for this, but I'll say it anyway. I've had kids come and train with me from as far as an hour away. And that's kind of, and not every coach in the world has people travel that far to come and train with them. But most of the people who end up training with me, like I moved, a few years ago, I moved from a location in between to Monroe. And so basically what happened is the edge of those, the people the furthest on that western edge, they eventually fall off and it becomes mostly a Monroe-centric clientele.
So you have a facility here now?
In Monroe, yes, sir.
Okay.
It's in Monroe, yes, sir.
What's happened with that facility?
They are going to do something else with the building.
I'm done.
Any other questions? Thank you, sir. With this, I would like to end all public comment and bring this back to the board for a motion.
I guess that's on me.
Well, you can take it.
Well, while I know that change is inevitable, this place has changed tremendously the past 40 years that I've been here. I'm pretty much familiar with this facility. A lot of things mentioned, I can say yes to all of it. When I came, I remember it being a nightclub. From a nightclub, it became a church. Then it became a dumpster place, and now the cars, and now it's vacant. Obviously, it's up to the owner for the upkeep of that facility. But at this point right here, too, I also feel that the community and the proposal, they need to come together and talk to come to some kind of agreement as far as what we really want to happen with this facility. And I understand, young man, that this is money for you. You had nothing to do with that, okay. But still, I would like for you all to come together and talk, to come to some kind of agreement what will be best for everybody. So at this point, I'm going to make a motion that we table this and kind of stipulate that you all please sit and talk to so that you can hear from them, they can hear from you in person. Y'all can sit down and come up with an agreement, if that's okay with you all. Yes, sir.
Hang on just a second.
Well, hang on.
I've closed all public comment, and I'm ready for a motion, and I'm going to move forward with the motion. So your motion is to table this till next month's meeting?
Yes.
Second.
I have a second. All in favor, raise your right hand and say aye. Aye. So we will hear this next month. The case will be tabled until then.
And please emphasize that.
All right.
Come up with an agreement to sit and iron this out.
With that, that is the end of our new business for this evening. Is there any public comment? What I'm going to ask you to do is, if you folks will make yourselves available here to these folks and let them get at least one person's contact information so that they can set a time for an event where y'all can all attend along with the applicant for a question and answer time, okay? Can you do that for me? I greatly appreciate it. Ma'am, in the blue on the front, can I point you? You? Yeah. Oh, you'll take care of it? Okay, all right, very good.
Swole.
You just, I mean, I'm trying to give you, okay, thank you. Any other public comment? If not, I'll take a motion of adjournment.
I make a motion that this meeting be adjourned.
Second.
And I have a second. All in favor, raise your right hand and say aye.
Aye.
Thanks, guys. And ladies.